did it. We made it through another weekend, but it wasn't just any weekend, was it? No, it was one of the spookiest, eventful. Look, I'm done talking about Halloween. I don't care about Halloween, and I really tried very, very hard for the course of 1 month to do it. And now I can go back to being so indifferent towards that holiday because it's over. It's over. I tried my best, and now it is done. It is Monday, November 2nd, 2020. I am James. You are you. We are here for another edition of At Home with James. It is 9:04 p.m., unless you're coming to us from the West Coast, in which it is 6:04 p.m. I hope, all things considered, you had a good weekend. Did you go to a pharmacy? Did you go to Jean Coutu, Pharmaprix, Brunet, Uniprix, Family Prix, get some leftover candy if you're coming to us from the States? Did you go to Walgreens? Maybe CVS? Get some leftover candy, a box of Smarties, Kit Kat, Crispy Crunch, a whole collection of crappy chocolate. But of course, if you're going to the pharmacies now, you can see just an unleashing of holiday goodies and favorites, which, you know, not to discourage what any image people might have of me as this Christmas guy, it's a little early. I understand why they're doing it in the goods and services industry, but the problem is it gets me a little too excited when I walk into Canadian Tire, when I walk into any of these stores that has the holiday stuff, and I see some trees, I see tinsel, I see oversized novelty peppermint. What do you call that? A candy? What is it called? A candy cane. I'm losing it. I don't even have my wits anymore. Some Christmas guy I am. I call it a candy stick, like a moron. I get too excited, and here's the thing. I don't want to be putting my tree up yet. It's too early. Right? It's too early. But then what difference does it make anymore? There's nothing that's stopping us from putting the tree up a month ago. So why can't I do it tomorrow? I can't do it. I'm too much of a stickler. Anyways, we're going to get into it. What is happening on tonight's show? Well, I'll tell you what isn't happening. A repeat of last Friday. If I had to internally imagine what the name of that episode was that would not go out to the public, I would call that ambitious. That's what I would name that show. I think at one moment we had 8 people on screen at once. So when I went to bed on Saturday night, I thought, never again will that many people be on the show. And why? Because there's bystander effect. Too many people just hanging around wondering, am I gonna interrupt James on the At Home program? Or am I gonna say something I'm gonna talk over Dave and then he's not gonna add me on Facebook when I try to friend him after the show? That's the issue with that. And I made a promise to myself that once Monday rolled around, this very night, tonight would be a minimalistic show. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Much later on, we're going to have Joe Conto back. It's not often that I have people 2 shows in a row, but here's the nitty-gritty of the situation, folks. Joe was a participant in the pumpkin carving contest, and as far as I've been able to gather, he was robbed from victory. More on that later on when we welcome Joe. Also tonight is going to be a host of brand new sponsors that we have secured. For months, I've been doing these James Sells Out segments. I not only was able to secure 1 sponsor, I found 16 sponsors. That's right. And you will be able to enjoy them through a series of publicity tonight throughout the next hour and change that we spend together. Speaking of together, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate you being here, subscribing, following. Keep it up. Tell your mom, dad, auntie, uncle, brother, sister, Grammy, Grampy. Tell your best friend, tell your worst enemy that we need them so desperately. Why? Because the winter's coming. Despair is on its way. The dark hand pulling us into the depths of darkness. So we need you to join us to be able to exchange fun, energy, and excitement every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, sometimes Saturday nights and sometimes Sunday mornings. More on that later on. Joining us right now is a man who's been with me since day one. He is the Simon to my Garfunkel. This guy's the Sonny to my Cher. He's the what's the 2 lion guys in Las Vegas? Sigmund. He's a Sigmund to my Freud. Let's welcome the one and only Dave Kaufman to the show. Dave, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, James, what's going on?
You know what? I'm doing okay. I'm having a nice cup of decaf courtesy of the Canadian Roasting Society. Not one of the official sponsors on the show,
Not
but
yet.
I'm giving them some, not
Not
yet.
yet.
But can I tell you something, Dave?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm
Bring it
working
on.
on it. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
It
You got a
looks chilly where
contact
you
there?
are.
Well, winter is coming, as they like to say in Game of Thrones. So I figured
Mhm.
I'd get ahead of it. So I'm wearing my winter gear with a nice virtual snow background,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm
you're
just
you're
enjoying
set
the
up for
weather.
winter. Check, I got my nice cardigan on. I got my indoor winter toque.
Exactly. You're looking good. You're
This is
looking
why.
great.
So yeah, you look great too. This is why you
Thank
and me
you.
get along.
We do get along because we compliment each other incessantly.
Well, that's what friends do, isn't it?
I think so. Or they rib each other.
We do that sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been known to pick on you, but I think that's kind of the thing about me with a lot of my friendships is that if you're friends with me, you're signing up to be kind of given the gears.
I mean, I personally, that's all my friendship. All my closest friendships are the ones where we incessantly rip on each other to the point where people will walk away from an evening being upset at the other one and then get
Yeah.
over it soon after.
Yeah, I don't think that's happened between you and I yet, but there's still time.
I've you've pissed me off before, James.
Yeah, I think, but I guess the reason why I was saying I don't know if it happens is because usually one of the people, the person who's doing the pissing off, needs to care that they did it.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're getting real personal, you've bugged me to the point where you could tell that I was irritated because I'll do things like fake yawn or
Yeah,
just like act a little bit more awkward than normal, and like I pretty much wear my upsetness on my face pretty
yeah, which is shocking because you used to be a poker star, so
yeah.
I
Well,
can't believe.
I was a digital poker star, so my avatar wouldn't give away my emotions.
So they weren't able to really get a sense of the sad mopey
This no,
Eeyore, like they couldn't see you fake yawning.
no, exactly. That was my tell.
Yeah, that is you got a few tells. That one, walking ahead,
Walking ahead, yeah.
pretending to be itchy.
But I really do get itchy. I get another. I mean, you can see me uh, scratch my eye right now. But another nervous tick that I have is if I'm frustrated, I'll like scratch my head
Yeah.
as though I
Now,
have some sort of skin disease.
now here's the thing. I don't know if I have any of those tells that I'm aware of.
Let me think. You'll get extra feisty if you're upset.
Hmm.
So like you'll say, "Man, this fucking sucks," or like you'll just get extra angry and start like hating on people even more than normal.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty cool tell though.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, it's wrapped in like kind of material, a little, they call me little feisty
Yeah,
in the
you're a little
in
feisty,
the
and
18 over.
you'll need the last word too.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's right.
Speaking of last words, so Dave, earlier on today, I put the call out to our, I guess what you want to call it, fan base or audience. And when I say we, I mean my own Instagram account. And I asked for people to send us in a variety of topics. Now, I would say that 85% of these bordered on horrible.
Yeah.
Now, that's the thing. When you ask people for stuff online, you're likely to only get trash responses. And I'd like to read some of the trash responses that we received.
Please do. Now
These
you were asking for legitimate help.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You're opening yourself up to getting trash responses. So again, we want to have a discussion based on what people are giving us. And here's one of the responses that we got, which was the joys of the various flavors of M&Ms. Now, I don't know what the hell anyone thinks we're going to talk about with that because they
Well,
all taste the
they
same.
taste
Maybe
the
that's the joke.
It's the joke, James. Because they all taste the same. Why? What's there to celebrate?
Yeah, but to make the thing funny, then this one was the weird relation between witches and broomsticks. And it's like, bro, I don't care.
I don't care, but actually, when somebody posted that, I did start to think about if there was sort of a like housewife mythology that started off the witch mythology. So it was like based on like an old lady cleaning her doorstep, and then people in the town would think that she was. I'm boring you.
Yeah, you're making me feisty. We've already dedicated too much. I just wanted to do part of this segment as here's an example of terrible
But
options that we
yeah,
got.
but I did get to think of like Salem witch trials, and okay, let's not Let's move it along.
Halloween's over, Dave. But we did receive a few pretty good ones, and one of which I think is going to take up the bulk of our time. Dave, coming to us from Thomas Barnwell, friend of the show.
Who's in the chat right now?
He sent in the origin story, the day McGee met Kaufman, and the weird dynamic that keeps this partnership going. Now, Dave, I want to dig into this, but as mentioned, we've got some new sponsors. So judging from my new production notes, we have to cut to commercial right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut to commercial. We're going to hear from a couple of our new sponsors, and then we will be back to hear about Dave and my origin story in just a moment right here on At Home with James.
Moi, j'aime ça faire le marché chez Provigo. On dirait que c'est pas pareil. Puis il y a aussi que j'aime ça beaucoup, le raisin. Aussi, j'ai beaucoup d'amis chez Provigo. Mais mon préféré, c'est le monsieur des fruits. Moi, je l'aime, la différence.
La différence, Provigo.
En tout cas, moi, je suis Patrice Brisebois.
Ben moi, je suis Stéphane Quintal.
Je suis Vincent D'Anfous.
Moi, je suis Martin Brodeur.
Moi, je suis Jean Coutu.
Hein? Jean Coutu?
Jean Coutu?
Jean Coutu? Mais là, c'est pas juste Jean Coutu. Vous allez bien trop fort. Les équipes sont injustes.
Trop fort. Jean Coutu, c'est le meilleur.
Ah, ben là, comment on a changé de numéro?
Well, there you have it.
Okay, well, I want to thank our brand new sponsors for joining us, Dave. As promised, we're going to be talking about your and I origin story. Now, when we got this question, I tried not too hard to think about it, and then it occurred to me that I have no idea about when we met.
I don't know the day that we met. Like, there's not like some sort of great rom-com story, you know?
Yeah.
But I do remember we were put on the same house team. That's when I first started to know who you were in like a more, I guess, I remember seeing you do some shows, and I was like, that guy's one of the funnier guys here.
Thank you. Yeah. And I'd like to return the favor. So for people who don't know, I had started, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years. I don't know what the hell time frame it was. But I remember when Dave was taking improv classes at the previously existing Montreal Improv. And his teacher at the time said, hey, my class has got a grad show tonight. You want to come watch so I have someone to sit with? So that's what I did. And I remember, Dave, you did some scene where you were admonishing your daughter because you really wanted to watch Breaking Bad. And I was like, this guy's pretty good.
Yeah, so we had a mutual respect.
Yeah, there was.
But
there was
we were on the same house team. We got placed on the same house team, and you were a vet.
Yeah, for people who don't know, a house team would be, I don't know what the hell it was at that point. Featured players, let's say.
And you were the cool kid because you had already been on a house team, and for me it was like, oh, this is cool, and you were just like, seen it all, very unapproachable, sort of like halfway out already.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Didn't want to be there.
Yeah. So your interpretation was that I was over it. I was just showing up for the hell of it.
You were over it. Yeah, you were.
You think I was over it?
Yeah, and I think that I'm right because you quit not long after.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Now I take some objection to this. So I was about to quit, and then I found out who I had been placed on a team with. I was like, oh, you know what? It sounds good to finally be on a house team that I would enjoy being on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that only worked for so long because you did quit.
Well, I did quit only because I thought, you know what? It's time for the old dog to go get. They gotta put old Yeller down. Yeah. And I dare
Pop
I
a
say,
cap in that ass.
Yeah. I popped a cap in my own ass, otherwise known as suicide.
Yeah, suicide by ass shooting.
Yeah, I dare to say, at the risk of, maybe destroying what people would perceive to be a massive ego on my part, the team improved once I left.
Yeah, we did. Because I think everyone was a little bit edgy around you. We were all wanted to be good, and everyone knows that the curse of improv is that the harder you try, the worse you are. So
But you know what? I'll say this: the first show that we all did together was a pretty sharp show, I thought.
that was good. And then we had some real duds. That team was coached by Vance Gillis. The name was Doreen for all you improv nerds in the audience. Let's see.
Yeah, it was the only time I was ever able to successfully name a team. Previous house teams that I was on, my names never got taken. One of which was Diaper, all caps.
That's our new improv team.
And then we ended up we were called. I lost out to the pillow fight. It's almost like a prerequisite. If you're on a house team, your name's got to suck.
Well, I had two good names. I was on two of the best teams at the theater.
Yeah, let's think about what really I think led to that is I think for two reasons. Dave, you were on both of them, but I was also involved in both of them because I constructed what I believe to be, as a coach, the best house team in Montreal improv history.
I agree with that, and I think everybody who's going to be on the show will agree with that wholeheartedly.
I think so too. The only thing that was missing from our show were heralds that never quite met a second beat. Yeah. Or opening games that didn't really quite make sense to anyone.
Yeah, and no one who's going to be on the show later will be upset that you said that.
No, not at all. As I digress, so that's our origin story, Dave.
But we weren't friends then. We weren't.
No, I don't remember ever talking to you while ever being on the same team with you.
No. Again, you were very disinterested, and you didn't want to be there. You were friends with Vance, and that's who you spoke to, which is fine. Yeah. And then later on, I became your neighbor, not in a weird stalkery way, but I just happened to move.
Yeah, you're just like, how do I get this guy to talk to
crack that nut?
Yeah, how do I make sure that guy wants to do scenes with me?
I just want to be friends with that little
I wish this guy would
skeleton man.
I wish this guy would tap into one of my scenes. The only way I can do it is by tapping into his real life.
Yeah, exactly. So I lived near you, and then I would drive home from the theater, and occasionally I would drive you home, and I feel like that's how we became friends, by my giving you something you needed.
Yeah,
which was a lift home.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Oftentimes, improv truths are revealed away from an improv theater and inside of a car.
What do you mean?
And I think all it really takes is for one of the parties, whether it's two people or three or four people, one person to disparage another person.
Oh yeah,
that person doesn't know what they're doing. And then the other person's like, oh my God, we hate the same person, is amazing.
Nothing bonds people like shit talking other people that you're forced to be around.
Yeah, I think that most of my friendships that were fostered from improv, Joe Conto, who's joining the show later tonight, our friendship was fostered by way of mutual dislike for a variety of people.
I mean, maybe it's the same people.
I'll tell you what.
Hopefully you're not in the chat tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna do a. No, I highly doubt that people from 2013 are lurking within the chat, and if they are, it's a good thing you quit improv.
People do a lot of things out of spite.
Yeah. Well, people do a lot of things out of spite. Well, Dave, I want to continue here because we at that point tried to do improv from time to time, never quite worked.
No. I think that there was still like, I'm sort of a robot when it comes to improv. I have a very specific set of skills, and I felt I was a little intimidated by you, and you're very quick naturally, so it threw me off my game a little bit.
Yeah, you're one of these types of guys, like you have like a math brain. Yeah. You do improv math on stage. You are what I call a technician.
You're sort of stand there, no physicality. I smirk.
Yeah,
and I say
horrible
things,
acting.
And like 8 out of 10 times they're pretty good, and then 2 out of 10 times I'll bomb horribly with like some snide remark.
Yeah, exactly.
Horrible acting. Somebody once complimented me on my acting, and I was like,
who was it? Was it Jimmy Fallon? Like, hey, this guy's I loved how much you laughed. I loved
Yeah.
it. So good, so good.
Rob Schneider complimented me on my acting.
Look, that would be amazing to get a compliment from the
He's like,
Deuce Bigelow.
You'd play a great stapler or whatever.
But here's the interesting thing, Dave, about our conflicting styles, and I want to get to those interesting thoughts in a second, but we have to cut to commercial break.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is when we come back, I want to chat about what I think makes, at least in the past, it's so difficult for me and Dave to perform together was actually what made us so similar as performers. And we're going to hear all about that and so much more, including Joe Conto later on. Right now, we're going to cut to commercial, and we'll be back with more At Home with James right here on Twitch.
Gilbert Morin présente les Bougalous. 1 million de personnes les ont vus en spectacle. Un beach party à l'année longue dans votre salon.
Monsieur Cannibal, je ne veux pas mourir.
Laissez-vous emporter par leurs rythmes ensoleillés. Les Bougalous en vente chez tous les bons disquaires.
Je veux une vraie bonne pizza. Pizza Tonini, ça c'est une vraie bonne pizza. Tonini, wow! Pizza Kaufman, c'est traditionnel. Tonini chaud. Pizza que tu adores. Pizza Tonini, viens t'asseoir, viens te régaler. Mange ici à porte de là, on fait la livrer vite fait. Appelle 3 c'est 000. Pizza Tonini.
James, I got to commend you on you getting those sponsors. Oh.
Here's the thing. When you're digging for sponsors, you have to be relentless. So I searched high and low. I went from, the top of NDG all the way down to the bottom of Outremont to find the sponsors that I thought fit really well into the show. Talking about fitting well with each other, Dave, before we cut to commercial, now that we're back, I wanted to talk about how I think we often approach improv the exact same way, which is from a predatory standpoint, where we are both just waiting for something to happen and then we pounce on it. I think what we do is we just strip the carcass in different ways.
That's interesting.
Sounds like you disagree.
No, I agree. I mean, I think I'm sort of a reactionary improviser. And I think you are too. It's just, I think I'm looking for, I don't know how to put this, like, you're a bit more loose up there. I'm looking for, like, specific things. I think I also have less...
You're a stickler. You're a stickler for the rules.
I'm a stickler for the rules, and also I have less, like, I'm less of a wild card.
Well, here's the thing.
It's funny to do these improv chats and like no one's performed in 8 months. No one is going to perform. Maybe ever again.
I'll tell you what. If there was like a show tomorrow, if there's COVID goes away, I'd get on stage and I'd be as confident as I was pre-COVID, which was very.
I mean, we've been doing this, which I feel like if we haven't been doing this, I'd be a little more skeptical. But this, I mean, as much as this isn't an improv show, it keeps me sharp a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. So that's our origin story, Dave. I mean, we could continue, but I think they've heard how we've gotten together to put this little dilly of a pickle together a number of times.
What a great story, though. It's a better story than the Beatles.
Well, I think so. I think so. At least our entire team is alive.
Who's our Pete Best?
Our Pete Best?
Mark.
Yeah, Mark is probably our Pete Best. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So, Dave, I'm going to move on to the next question. Sure. The question is favorite and least favorite compliment to receive. Now, this is a very tricky one.
I guess I'll go first, or it's just a question for me. But I don't like receiving compliments, although I still sort of need them. Like, I want, in a weird sort of like egomaniac, diseased kind of way, like, if somebody gives me a compliment, I'm like, thank you, but I don't want to hear anything more. Like, I don't want any like admiration, but if I don't get compliments, I'll get pretty bummed out too.
So you want that post-show compliment.
I want like a very quick acknowledgement that it was good, and then like leave me alone because I get I get shy when it comes to doing something well. I guess I think I'm eternally gonna suck. So
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I don't even.
It sounds like you've got a bit of fraud complex.
Yeah. It's imposter syndrome. I think I have that in my real job too. It's big in computer science, and I think big in improv. Although maybe I feel like a lot of people in improv kind of have the opposite of that, which is like,
well, it's a balance, right?
Dunning-Kruger is for improv. People have that.
Can you explain what that is?
It's like it's that thing where everyone thinks that they're more knowledgeable about the stuff that they know the least about. Like if you only know a tiny bit about something, you can probably think that you're pretty smart because you don't know how much you don't know.
Yeah.
And I feel like you get that a lot with like newer improvisers. They think they're the shit, and then they'll have like a series of bad shows, and that'll put them in sort of in check. And some people will just have egos for miles.
Oh yeah, some people, no matter what the discipline is, I think they could walk out to a crowd, get zero reaction, and walk away thinking,
I crushed.
Yeah, I crushed.
Yeah.
Did you hear them out there? Oh yeah, I heard them.
They're still alive.
I heard them wanting to die. So I'm gonna throw my hat into the ring with this question. Favorite compliment? You're funny.
Yeah.
Doesn't get any better than that. And I would say, you know what? This is going to sound like a shocking one. Least favorite compliment is when people probably say, God, you've got a great voice. You should be in radio. And then it just makes me feel bad that I'm not.
Oh, yeah. But that's like, it's like you become ashamed of your life choices at that point.
Yeah, I've got Clyde Phelps syndrome.
You do have a good voice for radio, though, James. And people have told me that, too.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe the next step for this is we get our own radio show.
Yeah, or we buy a series of antennas.
I mean, I think the world is our oyster now, although I think that if you and I put our money together, we could probably scrape up enough to purchase CJLO.
You think? Maybe. Yeah. I feel like they're booming now because everyone can't go anywhere.
You know what? I think that with enough time and patience, we could probably take over CJLO.
All right, I would take over CJLO.
Great. We've got more questions coming up, but of course we do have to pay our bills, so we're going to send it back over to another commercial break featuring 2 brand new sponsors. But don't you dare go anywhere. We will be back with more comedy and conversation, as well as Joe Conto a little bit later on. I'm James. I'm here with Dave Kaufman. We'll be back in just a moment on At Home with James on twitch.tv/AtHomeWithJames. See you in a second.
Les couleurs, c'est un peu comme faire partie de l'équipe. C'est maintenant si facile avec les 28 boutiques Les Canadiens à la grandeur du Québec. Idéal pour vos cadeaux de Noël. Des casquettes aux épinglettes, des cols roulés aux chandails de hockey jusqu'aux vêtements pour bébé, des rondelles au bas de Noël, des fanions aux oursons et pantalons. Pour Noël, vous trouverez aux boutiques Les Canadiens d'autres idées cadeaux. Des assiettes décoratives peintes à la main et même un assortiment de cassettes vidéo des Canadiens. Visitez une boutique Les Canadiens ou encore commandez par téléphone en composant le 1-800-363-8162.
Allô, c'est Jojo. Quel temps fera-t-il aujourd'hui? Ensoleillé ou nuageux? Quel est ton état d'âme? Est-ce une bonne journée pour tomber en amour, voyager ou signer un contrat? Qu'as-tu à prendre et quels sont tes choix? Appelle-moi au 1976 Jojo sur ma ligne d'astrologie personnalisée basée sur ton thème natal à toi. L'astrologie est une science de sagesse et de prévention, alors ne sois plus victime de tes émotions. Les étoiles sont là pour te guider, t'éclairer vers ton bonheur. Je t'aime. 1976 5656.
Avec les super...
There we go.
Well, I'm pretty happy with the way things are unfolding tonight. You are back right here on Twitch. I am James. That's Dave. Dave, this has been a more relaxed episode tonight.
Yeah, I like it. It's fun. I can't believe you got Jojo Savard to sponsor you.
It took a couple DMs, but I was able to make it happen.
I thought that she'd passed, actually.
Oh no, JoJo is still very much alive.
Oh, good. I'm happy.
All right, I want to ask one more question before we bring Joe in. Dave, this one is specifically for you. Surprises and challenges of being a new dad, and then as a sub portion of this question, and an uncle by friendship, and that one's for me, and that one comes from Mel.
Surprises. It is. I like it a lot more than I expected I would. Not to say that I expected it to be bad, but I thought, I mean, it's been a lot of work, but you really, not to sound too hokey, but you actually like you really enjoy the whole process. I'm also sort of extremely lucky to be with a partner, my wife, who is very on top of things, and she takes care of like. Not that I don't do anything or whatever. I gave my daughter a bath today, and I put her to bed and all those things. But she really is on top of stuff, and it makes it really easy for me. So,
yeah, I think of all the people that I knew who were in long-term relationships, you as the dad is the one that surprised me the most.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, just your general demeanor is like sarcastic. You know, you fall asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
Under cutlery and food, and you leave crumbs. You
That's
live
true.
the life of a bachelor.
I do. I did, and you're referring specifically to not long ago when I fell asleep on my couch on a brick of cheese and a knife because I was eating cheese right before falling asleep.
Yeah. Yeah, you live the life of a guy who just got dumped and thrown out of the house by his wife, and then you found a one-bedroom.
You always got to be ready for getting thrown out. So
yeah,
just like I'm ready for winter right now. I'm ready.
You are ready for winter. Now the additional part of that question is what it's like for me to be an uncle by friendship, and I would say that it's fair to say I have no relationship with your daughter whatsoever.
Yeah, you don't even strangely say hi to her when like we all go for walks together, and
that's strange that I don't say hello to a baby who will never answer me.
Yeah, it is. I think you should say hi. I think you should say, "Hey, Molly, how's it going?" Even though I'm
not going to say how's it going.
What about just hey?
I'm willing to say.
My daughter's name is Molly, by the way, for all.
Yeah,
those
yeah, but okay. So it's like, look, not to compare babies to animals, but if I said hey, no, you know what? I can't compare them because if I said hey to a dog, the dog would greet me.
Yeah, but my daughter, she'll look at you and she'll smile.
She doesn't know that that's her name. You know that, right?
She kind of does, though. She
I
recognizes the noise.
I think that you have been, and I understand why, because I would feel the same way. You've been manipulated into thinking that your daughter's capable of more than she is.
You think that I'm susceptible to this baby ideology that I can't.
I think so. I think so. Now, I know. Look, it's. I can't relate to this on any level. If I had a kid, I don't think I would care if my friend said hello to a baby in a carriage. I really don't think I would care.
Yeah, but she's learning how to be social. Like, there's all sorts of different like social emotional cues that a young brain wants to be acclimated to, and one of those is being greeted by strangers.
Yeah, so here's the deal.
You're not even a stranger. You've met her numerous times.
Met her. She'll have no memory of anything that happens. Once she gets to an age where I can have a dialogue with her, then it's going to be great for her. The pleasure will be all hers.
Yeah.
To be able to sit with someone who's making fun of her father.
And I'm sure that the joy of a child won't spark any joy in you, James, and it will be completely a one-way relationship in terms of who gets satisfaction.
Hey, like I said, I'm happy to engage when it's a two-way street. It's like sitting with a grown-up who's not giving you the time of day. Were you just going to keep trying?
I think you're intimidated by her.
Yeah, you think I'm intimidated by a baby?
Yeah, I think a new, fresh life intimidates you because it makes you feel old and out of touch.
Yeah, I feel really old and out of touch. Coming from
you're getting feisty, James.
Coming in from the chat right now, Jay Voorhees 88. Babies are animals. I don't even know if I said hi to my own kids. Don't feel bad.
Oh my God. Well,
coming in from the chat right now, Real Sid Rock. Dave is being the weirder one right now.
No way. You guys you just don't. You either have kids and you don't respect them, or you don't have kids. You don't get the love of an infant.
Yeah. Okay.
Looking
So
at you in the eyes as you greet her and them giving you a smile.
You're getting feisty there, Dave. You're
getting feisty.
I feel perfectly relaxed.
Oh, you do?
But here's the deal. It's not limited to just your kid. We have a variety of friends who have kids, and I have no interaction with their kids either. Although I have an inner ranking in my brain of the ones that I think are the cutest.
You're a bit of a kid Grinch.
Yeah, I would say that I am a kid Grinch. That's true. I think I am a kid Grinch. I would say that once everyone's kids become toddlers, then you're going to see me really come alive.
You know what happens to the Grinch at the end of that story, though, right?
Well, I already just confirmed to you that when they become toddlers, I'm going to be great. So, yeah.
But before that, the Grinch's heart grows 3 sizes.
Well, there was an interesting moment when your wife asked me, and you were there, James, do you wish you could hold the baby? And my response was, no. I neither want to, nor do I not want to. It's one of those things that frankly concerns me if I end up with someone who wants to have kids, because I'm open to the idea. But when my response is, oh, do you want to hold the kid? No.
It's the musings of a sociopath.
I wouldn't say it's the musings of a sociopath. It's just I've got different priorities, right?
Sure, yeah, like killing animals and
I never said
a taste for murder.
Well, you're the one that eats far more unusual animals than I do. In fact, I've been eating less and less meat.
Oh, well, that's good. It's healthy.
Yeah, well, you know what? I've got a healthy relationship with my diet and other people's children.
Okay.
But now I know what you guys talk about once our walks ends. It's like, James doesn't say hi to our baby that has no idea what's going on.
No, we say, poor James, he can't even be emotionally open enough to say hi to the baby. He's so closed off.
I'm going to refer to the chat right now. Once again, Jay Voorhees. Man, I've been friends with Mark, who is one of his friends, for 27 years or something like that, and I don't think we've ever held each other's kids.
Well,
sounds like you are the weird one. Sounds like you are.
Let's remember that Jason Voorhees is a murderer.
That, you know what? Good point.
Yeah.
Touche. We're going to be back after another commercial break where we welcome Joe Conto to the show when he talks about what was one of the most controversial results to a competition, not only in this show's history, but dare I say, in media history. That's coming up right after the break. More At Home with James in just a moment.
Le Iron Sheik, Hulk Hogan et Big John Studd. Vous pouvez les faire voler et tournoyer dans ce super ring spécialement conçu. De l'action tant que vous en voulez, plein de rebondissements. Les superstars de la lutte et le nouveau ring de lutte sont tous vendus séparément. C'est un jouet grand.
Tiens, bonjour Maurice. Qu'est-ce qu'on peut te servir? Donne-moi une bière. La même que d'habitude. Ben voyons donc. Ben voyons donc. Qu'est-ce que tu demandes là? Qu'est-ce que tu demandes là? Ben voyons donc. Ben voyons donc. Donne-moi une Oki. Donne-lui une Oki. Ben voyons donc. Quand on prend une bière, celle qu'on préfère. Celle que je préfère, c'est la Oki. Oki, c'est celle qui se prend en douceur. Ben voyons donc.
There we go. Thank
Look,
you to our sponsors.
I am so glad that we are back live on the air right here on twitch.tv/At Home with James. Dave, can I trouble you to stick around? You want to hang up for the rest of the show?
I'll hang out, sure. I'll win you over eventually.
Well, no, you have won me over. It's just your baby needs to do some work.
Okay.
We are going to welcome our next guest. He is a professor at Paul Smith College. He was recently on the show this past Friday where he took part in the first ever At Home with James pumpkin carving competition to less than stellar results. Let's welcome Joe Conto to the show. Joe, how's it going?
Hey, can you hear me? Am I on?
You're on.
I didn't, because sometimes I thought I had to press a button. Am I crazy?
Oh, you're good. No, you're good.
Okay,
Joe,
good. Hey, hello.
I want to check in with you. What do you think? What's your position on this thing that I should be saying hello to Dave's 4-month-old kid?
I always greet a baby. Always.
Okay.
Yeah. Like if I saw Dave, I would say, hi Dave. I go, what's up, Molly? I would say it that way. Like,
that sounds like it's more for you than for the baby, though.
Everything is first for me and then for the baby.
Okay,
but
great.
No. But here's the deal. I do want the baby just to know that the world is full of people who will engage with you, and you don't have to be worried. Yeah.
And my position is, now I'm not opposed to it. My position is that will come with time.
I want the baby to feel that way early enough that it is sort of built into their psyche.
Yeah,
I like babies.
Yeah, I guess I'm indifferent on that front.
Yeah.
Like most serial killers.
Yeah. Well, Better keep your mouth shut there, Dave.
Someone needed the last word.
Joe, before we get on with the night's festivities, what type of uncle by way of friendship do you foresee me being to people like Dave's kid, Carmen Rose's kid?
Yeah, distant. And I think probably you'll be held up as a cautionary tale. You know what I mean?
It's funny. I was going to say the same thing for you.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Quite often, yes.
Yeah.
I had an uncle just like me, as a matter of fact, and he was held up as a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
And often when my parents would try to do a cautionary tale thing, that's what I gravitated toward.
Yeah.
One time we were in Lake George, New York, which is it's a crummy place.
Yeah.
Tourist town, And I remember saying to my dad, when I grow up, I want to live here. And he goes, here? Why, this is just a honky-tonk little tourist town full of trash. And I go, yeah, that's what I want to do. And ever since, right, I've lived in just a series of honky-tonk, trashy tourist towns. Lake Placid is not trashy, certainly. But still, it's just another, bunch of T-shirt shops and a popcorn place and stuff. I love it.
Well, it could be worse.
Oh, it could be way worse. It could be Utica.
Okay, well, look, I don't want to, offend any of the people from Utica. Joe, let's cut the crap, okay?
Let's cut the crap.
So this past Friday, for the uninformed, as I had mentioned, we had a pumpkin carving competition on our Halloween episode. Excuse me, it was this past Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
And your pumpkin of the 3 pumpkins got 0, or excuse me, no, there was 1 vote.
One vote.
But you did lose.
Yeah, heartily. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and not only that, but my good name was besmirched throughout the night. Yeah. I was called these words. And now look, I'm a 55-year-old man, right? Upstanding citizen. I was called a filthy criminal.
Yeah.
That was tough. And even worse, James, and even worse, I was told I had poor time management skills by Carla.
Well,
me.
You did steal the pumpkin from a dentist's office. Does that make you a criminal? I mean, maybe some things you do make you a criminal that I know of, but not that.
Here's another point.
But that is a felony.
I told her I was taking it. I gave her every opportunity to say, no, please don't do that, or don't do that, or hey, nope. I said, I'm going to come back and I'm going to take that pumpkin. And she goes, oh boy, I'd like to see you try, and stuff like that. And I go, well, you will when tomorrow there's no pumpkin. And she goes, can you imagine? And I said, yeah, very easily, because I'm already doing it in my head. So anyway, I got a pumpkin from the dentist office.
What if she was waiting for you there with like a shotgun?
Oh, don't even. It's a very small town. So I got so worried when I let that out. I thought, people know people know people. Will anybody know? Plus, I told her I was going to steal it, and then it was gone the next day. But I hope it doesn't get traced back to me. But I don't think it makes me a filthy criminal. I think it makes me like a mischievous scamp.
Well, you could argue that perhaps karma bit you on the rear end, Joe, because
really hard.
Not only were you verbally abused throughout the course of the night, you then lost. But there's nothing wrong with losing. But this was a controversial loss based on the quality of your pumpkin. Now, what I want to do, I want to send just a quick thought to our production team. Can we bring up an image of all of the contestants on Saturday's show? We're going to take a look at each and every pumpkin from this past Saturday. So this is happening right now. We've never done any type of recap episode on this show's history. So this is the first time ever.
Looks like they're up.
So we're going to take a gander. We're going to take a peek at all of the pumpkins that were featured on Saturday's episode. Of course, we're going to begin. We had the digital pumpkin, which was not a contestant, but I just wanted to give some admiration to that. That was brought to us by a friend of the show, Dave Janssens. He built that through a computer. Then right beside it, the champion pumpkin carving, Kim Ho. That was his pumpkin, kind of this goofy, I believe it was referred to as, was it kind of a Halloween-esque Gonzo from the Muppets?
Grover, I believe.
Grover. There you go. Thank you, Dave. Right across, we've got Sarah DeHay of CJD 800s, her Carol Baskin-inspired pumpkin. And then right next to hers, Joe, we've got yours, which was very classy, featured an accessory. Take me through what you were thinking when all of the pumpkins were revealed. What's your thought at that moment on Saturday night?
Okay, for real?
Yes.
You know how I am, right? You know, I'm a pretty big fan of myself, and I thought to myself, because how to put it? Anyway, so
did you think you had it in the bag?
I kind of did.
Yeah.
Look, this says a lot about me, but you have to look at that pumpkin. First of all, I am always impressed when a pumpkin has round, not just a bunch of slash marks like this, you know, like a crooked triangular mouth, and you can see where the knife went too far.
Yep.
You know, but they came back and they kind of tried to clean it up, but there's still like a tissue there. But did you see the mustache on mine? It was so nice. And I also love it when somebody just sort of shaves back. So some things are true whole, but other things are just like shading on the pumpkin itself. And then I was working on mine here. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. I knew I wanted a mustache for some reason, and there was twine. And I thought, oh, I'll give this guy a monocle and even a little monocle thing with it. So there was actual piece of twine coming down from the edge. And I thought to myself, oh no, they're going to feel so weird when they were putting me down.
Yeah.
And suddenly they're like, oh, this person is an artist. He's not a filthy criminal. He's a beautiful soul.
Well, coming in the chat right now, when I saw the pumpkin, I also thought you were going to win. So there's more admiration. Dave, what did you think? I know you weren't on the show on Saturday, but I know that you were watching. What did you think of the contestants and where Joe kind of stood up against them all?
I mean, I was rooting for Joe the whole time. I quite liked that he stole the pumpkin. That was a plus for me. Because why would she keep it? You know, like what's she gonna do with it? It's over.
And plus it had frozen. And I was trying to make good entertainment for the people at home. Have a good backstory.
And you're breaking into a Bill Clinton impersonation right now.
I would love to.
Well, maybe we'll save it for another time.
We'll save it, Joe. But there's two things I want to say real quick. And then when I showed just the parts I had cut out during the check-in, I thought that was great. It would build suspense because other people were just showing their pumpkin, and I thought, what? Where's the reveal? Where's the drama?
It also made you the underdog because they're like, what's this garbage he's throwing away?
That's the thing, and that's when Carla goes, "Oh, you're not using your time wisely." And I thought, "I'll show you." So all that occurred. So I swear to God, I thought when I was going to show that thing, that doves would fly out of it or something, that it was going to be amazing, and it didn't happen.
No, but here's the thing. Sort of interject, but people were impressed. But they didn't vote for not to.
That's what I said.
Hopefully, that's not a prediction for tomorrow. But people were very impressed, but they just didn't go to the polls.
No, the thing is that they weren't voting for the pumpkin; they were voting for the person behind the pumpkin, which I don't think is fair.
Okay, so that's a controversial opinion in a controversial situation, but the controversy did not end once the competition ended on Saturday. We're going to hear about this and a whole lot more when we come back from commercial break. I'm James. We got Dave here. Joe is talking about his embarrassing, horrible pumpkin carving competition defeat.
I haven't slept.
And I don't blame you. And it all happened this past Saturday. What happened next is going to shock you, and we'll hear about that in just a moment when we get back right here on Twitch.
Il s'appelle Dalton. C'est lui le meilleur dans sa spécialité. Il est videur. On lui tire dessus, on lui sort des lames, mais lui s'en sort toujours avec quelques points de suture.
T'as vraiment une drôle de vie, Dalton.
Patrick Swayze, bar routier.
Dès vendredi, dans un cinéma près de chez vous, consultez les journaux.
Dites adieu aux cheveux fins et clairsemés et retrouvez ceux d'il y a 20 ans en seulement 60 secondes. Avec Magic Hair, un produit révolutionnaire pour hommes et femmes qui couvre et donne du volume instantané aux cheveux fins et aux régions clairsemées, comme par magie. Voyez par vous-même, n'est-ce pas incroyable? Une microtechnologie permet à Magic Hair d'adhérer aux cheveux fins et accroître leur volume. Vaporisez simplement votre couleur et le tour est joué.
C'est pas croyable. Regardez ma tête. J'ai retrouvé mes cheveux avec Magic Hair.
Magic Hair avec Rain Shield résiste à la pluie et ne s'effrite pas. S'enlève simplement au shampoing.
Magic Hair, c'est un vrai miracle. J'ai retrouvé mes cheveux.
Imaginez comment ce secret d'Hollywood pourra vous donner meilleure apparence. Vos cheveux auront l'air plus jeunes, plus volumineux et plus attirants.
Merci, Magic Hair. Mon mari a retrouvé ses cheveux d'il y a 20 ans.
Alors, pour des cheveux fantastiques, utilisez Magic Hair, le salon de coiffure d'Hollywood en bouteille.
Pour commander votre Magic Hair, composez le 1-800-565-5589, 1-800-565-5589 ou écrivez à l'adresse ci-dessous.
And we're back.
We are here with Dave and Joe. So, Joe, where we left off prior to our commercial break is how things, at least on my end, did not end once the carving ended on Halloween night. What I want to do is I want to share, and I'm not going to give this person's name away. I received, upon posting the results of the pumpkin carving competition on Instagram, a direct message. In direct response to your pumpkin, it reads, "This is very good," with this hand signal, that emoji.
All right.
And I wrote, "This pumpkin did not win." The person responded, "What?" with a series of exclamation points and question marks. I then shared the pumpkin that did win.
Right.
And I said, "This is the winner." This person responds, "I mean, that just looks like a typical pumpkin, to be honest." So it sounds like, had there been more of a global vote, Joe, your pumpkin may have won.
I do have a theory.
Yes.
I believe that when Carla gave her vote.
You seem really upset with Carla.
I also have a theory, and I will tell my theory after your theory.
Dave, why don't you tell your theory first? I want to see if it matches mine.
Well, here's the thing. There wasn't really a scoring system. We didn't know how this was going to play out, so...
myself included.
Yes, because Dave, I believe that Carla thought she was only giving the first of several... She said, for creativity, I choose this pumpkin. And I thought, okay, all right, I'll win in technical. In technical.
And what are the categories, Joe?
Well, there was only one: creativity, technical.
I think the categories were either do you win or not win.
They were, but in Joe's mind, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
well, there was a series of
like a figure skating
all
competition.
leaning toward me.
Difficulty.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely difficulty. Did I mention that I had a curled mustache on mine?
Yeah, and a monocle. Okay, Dave, can I go to? Excuse me. Am I to understand you guys are on the same page with your theories?
I think so. I don't think that as judges, the judges knew that they were casting their one sole final vote when the voting was cast. And I feel like this is a voting scandal sort of equivalent to the 2000 Hanging Chad fiasco.
Right. So, in the defense of everyone, this is my fault.
I mean...
Oh, absolutely.
It is absolutely my fault. And as I'm saying it, and as we're talking about it, you know, Dave, you brought up a scandal election. It almost makes me think about the Bush versus Al Gore election when they demanded a recount. And I almost wonder if this is what we need to do.
Please don't. Please don't. I do not want to disparage any of the other people or their pumpkins. There were 3 fine pumpkins.
I agree. Not with Joe, with James.
So, Dave, you think we should have a popular vote recount?
Well, in Florida, there was a recount, and then they brought it to the Supreme Court. And I suppose the Supreme Court would be, in this case, Mean Business, who was a judge.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Carla. Taylor.
And Taylor McMillan.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying, Joe, now it sounds like you don't want to advocate for a recount, but I get the sense you really want your pumpkin to win.
What I want.
Peace on Earth?
What, peace on Earth?
Okay.
After his pumpkin wins.
Yeah.
I do not need, no. I mean, what occurred. But in my head, I'm already thinking about next year.
Yeah.
Next year's pumpkin.
Sure.
Because what you saw on Saturday was just the tip of the iceberg.
Now, what do you say to people who say there's no way he can top that?
Oh, you don't know. You should have seen some of the pumpkins I've come up with in the past. This one truly was last minute. I didn't know what I was going to do with this pumpkin until I held it in my hand and I said, what are you going to become? What are you going to become?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe, I'd like to try something.
Oh, by the way, I also love the idea that there are people out there who think I was robbed. That feels better to me than a blue ribbon.
Yeah.
You have like a sort of a conspiracy following now.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder what that conspiracy would be called.
Peanon.
Peanon?
Peanon.
Or which is short for peeing on.
Peeing on.
I would have called it a controversy.
That's good.
Ooh, this is very controversial.
A controversy. Peanon, the ultimate controversy.
Now, here's the issue with what we're doing. This is going to be one of these episodes that I'm going to walk away from with a crazy idea where Joe gets to plead his case to the judges again.
Now, in the chat, I just want to point out that noted conspiracy buff Sid Rock is calling it Pumpkin Gate.
Yes, yeah. It's a controversial Pumpkin Gate situation.
With all due respect, I think Pumpkin Gate's low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. It's not bad, though.
No, it's not bad at all.
It might be alienating future voters, Joe.
No, wait a minute. Are the people included in this too? Just the masses?
Well, we got to cut to commercial break. So
I'm not great with the masses.
Don't worry, we're going to whip you into shape. We just got to get you a campaign manager, which could be our chief political correspondent, Sid Rock. We're going to cut to commercial break. We're going to be back in just a moment with more At Home with James. That's Dave, that's Joe, and we will be back in just a shake of a leg.
Cool.
Le meilleur café du monde est encore meilleur. Pour seulement 2,99 $. Dunkin' Donuts vous offre 370 grammes de café frais moulu. Et ce n'est pas tout. Pour seulement 2,99 $, obtenez une super tasse thermo remplie de 20 onces liquides de savoureux café Dunkin' Donuts. 370 grammes de café ou une super tasse thermo. Faites ça vite. Ces offres sont valables pour un temps limité seulement.
La science moderne a établi que la personnalité est déjà formée dès l'âge de 5 ans. Ainsi, les personnalités de type poulet se montrent déjà les plus méthodiques, alors que les personnalités de type sauce sont plutôt passionnées. Les types poulets sont plus ambitieux, les types sauce plus enthousiastes. Et alors que les types poulets sont passablement soignés, les types sauce sont plutôt pratiques. Tout ça pour dire que personne n'échappe au vrai bon goût de Saint-Hubert.
Saint-Hubert, tu nous donnes le goût.
And we're back from commercial.
Okay, we are back with Joe Conto. We're back with Dave Kaufman. So, Joe, I know that because I let you know that people have been messaging me talking about how much they appreciated your pumpkin, how they thought that one should have ran away with the competition.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any advice for people that might be dealing with something similar to what you might be dealing with right now, which is this, an unjust loss?
Yeah. I think all you have to do is really just think to yourself that you just hope that nothing this terrible happens to other people.
Yeah.
Again, yeah. I think there's some organizations that fight for, justice of this source, and I think probably.
Have you considered contacting the ACLU about this?
Well, no, but I've considered having a GoFundMe page for a few things that I need around the house.
We had heard about that.
Around the house.
Project.
I had heard that it was a GoFundMe. Then I heard it was a Patreon. Then I heard you were starting an OnlyFans account.
Yeah. I carve pumpkins and other hollow vegetables in the tub.
I hope hollow vegetable isn't a euphemism for anything.
Joe, where can people find you on OnlyFans? What's your URL?
Yeah, it's called Peter Pumpkin Peter.
Yeah. Peter Pumpkin Peter.
That's it. That's me. And interestingly, joining me in the tub this week will be Miss Jojo Savard.
Oh, you got Jojo Savard.
Yeah.
You're going to be giving you some of your astral.
Still alive.
Listen,
Jojo.
Don't you tempt me. I think a show from my tub is not that a bad idea, especially if I have guests with the star quality of Miss Jojo Savard.
Yeah, we're going to start the At Home with James network, and there's going to be a variety of shows. And yours is going to be Joe in the Tub.
Joe in the Tub.
I think we can work on that name. Dave, what do you think about Joe in the Tub as a...
what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, it sounds like something that would get the eyes on the screen,
Yeah.
People would want to watch that.
I think they would. And I would have a guest with me, just me and a guest.
Is the guest in the tub with you?
Yeah. Like this way, not that way.
So it's you and Jojo Savard in a bathtub, and you're still carving pumpkins?
A bathtub.
We're facing each other. It's my bathtub.
Yeah.
You're carving a pumpkin in the bathtub with like little bits of pumpkin floating around.
And then Jojo Savard's there, and I think Joe has sex with the pumpkin after.
As predicted by JoJo.
Yeah, as predicted
during the episode.
Yeah. I see in your future you're going to be having sex with a pumpkin.
Oh, happy birthday, Libra.
Well, you're just doing the wild and crazy guys from SNL.
No, that was Miss Jojo Savard.
That was your... Okay, we're going to do another vote as to who does a better Jojo Savard. It's going to be me or Joe.
That would be great to have a series, like an impressions contest, but of real people with real great accents.
Yes.
Like Jojo Savard.
Dave, do you do a Jojo Savard? I've given mine. Joe has given his.
I am Jojo Savard. She did a lot of this. She did.
Yours sounds like Antonio Banderas.
I mean, they're very similar.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they're often mistaken.
I thought mine was good. Especially when we go, happy birthday, Libra.
Jojo Savard was in damn it, I forget the Antonio Banderas movie. Never mind.
Yeah, rough segue. Well, now we can have some type of Jojo Savard and Joe Conto mashup, so we can have Jojo Conto.
Jojo Conto Savardo.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be just Joe?
Yeah, this riffing is going to cause another controversy.
A deep one.
Yeah, a deep one. Joe, I want to thank you so much for being here tonight, man. I'm glad you were able to get everything off your chest, and if it means
I feel better.
You were the winner in my heart, and who knows, there might even be a online-only recount when you wake up tomorrow.
I do not want to disparage those other people. They're lovely people.
You're not disparaging anyone. It's about being fair. And I'm going to let everyone know that you were in favor of this recount.
Okay.
Joe. Joe, thanks so much for being here.
Okay, bye.
Hey, wait, Mask of Zorro.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Dave. We're about to wrap.
Starring Jojo Savard.
Yeah.
Starring Jojo Savard. We're about to wrap. We're about to wrap things up. That's Joe Conto. Before we do that, we've still got a couple more bills to pay. We're going to cut to commercial break. And when we return, it's the exciting conclusion of the Monday, November 2nd edition of At Home with James. We'll be back in just a moment.
Le 11 avril, le Petit Journal vous donne rendez-vous au stade lors du match d'ouverture McDo des enfants. Participez au concours Viens te faire voir et courez la chance de voir votre enfant être l'un des invités vedettes du Petit Journal, diffusé en direct du stade olympique. Il pourrait aussi occuper un poste au sein de l'organisation des expos pour la journée ou encore devenir animateur de radio et participer à l'une des émissions du matin à CKMF. Remplissez le bon de participation dans la presse et peut-être verrez-vous votre enfant voler la vedette.
Et le récipient du trophée Pepsi pour la 7e année consécutive, Tiki beat Lover.
C'est qui c'est version? Merci beaucoup. Alors, je dois d'abord dire que ça n'a pas été le sinécure de tout qu'on faut de gagner le trophée, car il y a plusieurs amateurs de petits sur le signe d'équipe, ils se comprennent. D'ailleurs, une gorgée vaut mille mots. En tout cas, cette année, j'ai peut-être plus défensif, juste 4 petits par période. Et l'année prochaine, je vais sortir mon attaque à 5.
Aujourd'hui, c'est Pepsi.
Technical difficulty on my part, which is rare that happens, but it does. Folks, we have reached the exciting conclusion of tonight's show. Of course, I want to thank Joe Conto for being here tonight. What a treat. I want to thank Dave Kaufman for also being here. Always a treat in talking to Dave. Folks, we will be back on Wednesday at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on twitch.tv/@home with James. Of course, we'll be here on Friday as well. Same time, same place. But remember, we will be here on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock a.m. for the Sunday morning special, where we have an entire panel discussion where each and every guest brings to us a variety of topics that we will then, of course, as mentioned, discuss. And my hope is that we will be able to discuss at length some more this Pumpkin Gate controversy, or should I say controversy. Until then, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Again, thanks to Joe. Thanks to Dave. We'll be back in a couple days. Until then, I am James. You are you. We were here. Good night. Goodbye. Farewell. And of course, be well.